I looked down at the caller ID on my cell phone, and I knew it must be Saddam Hussein. My cousin Beth and her husband Dan had taken me out to supper for my birthday. My normal birthday date, my wife Carla, was overseas, so Beth and Dan offered to take me out for my birthday, because that's just the way our family is. I looked down at my ringing cell phone, and I said, "Oh, that must be Saddam." Dan had a really confused look on his face, so I attempted to explain. "Yeah, every year Saddam Hussein calls me on my birthday." The look on Dan's face matched the confused looks on all of your faces right now. So let me go back a little bit further. My grandpa and grandma had 9 children, including my father. And of those 9 kids, 5 of them grew up within a 4-mile radius of the farm that I grew up on in central Minnesota. So I had a very close extended family and received a lot of attention from my aunts and uncles. My uncle Mark, the only one of the 9 kids who did not get married and have kids of his own, made up for it by heaping a lot of attention on his nieces and nephews. But he also told us a lot of stories that were meant to lead us astray. There was the one time in elementary school when my Dahlman nearsightedness sent me to the eye doctor. "So Tony, I hear you're going to the eye doctor." "Yeah, I'm having problems reading the blackboard in class." "Well, just make sure that when they take your eyeballs out of your skull to look at the back of them, that you get your own eyes back, because you don't want to come home with girl eyes." "They don't take your eyeballs out of your skull." "Well, of course they do. How else are they supposed to look at the back of your eyes?" Apparently, I was really quiet in the waiting room, and it was only after my mother explained to me that they don't take your eyeballs out of your skull was I willing to go into the eye doctor's chair. But sometimes the stories were a little bit more international in flavor. In 1991, the entire nation was focused on the Persian Gulf War in Iraq. And my Uncle Mark had told me that the United States and Iraq had come to a peace agreement. In exchange for disarmament and the return of Kuwait, President George H.W. Bush had agreed to give Saddam Hussein the date of March 13th. Now, never mind the problems of the international transfer of a calendar date. I was more concerned because March 13th is my birthday. And there is nothing more important to a 7-year-old boy than his birthday. So as my birthday approached, the calendar seemingly stayed the same, but I was still getting a little bit worried. But on my birthday, my parents told me I had a phone call. And much to my surprise, it was Saddam Hussein himself. Or at least what a boy from central Minnesota would think Saddam Hussein would sound like. To this day, I have no idea what an Iraqi accent sounds like. But it was probably not the half Italian, half Scandinavian voice that came over the phone that day. "Hello, Antonio!" Saddam Hussein told me that he would take good care of my birthday, and he wished me a happy year. Saddam Hussein called me again the next year, and he called me again the year after that. Generally, we would talk about how I was doing in school, but mostly, he wanted help with the current American presidential administration. "Oh, Antonio, my dear only friend, President Clinton keeps on wanting to bomb my palaces. Can you do something about it?" "Oh, Antonio, President Bush wants to invade my country and take me out of power. Can you go to Washington, D.C. and talk to him?" Saddam Hussein called me year after year. He continued to call me throughout high school and throughout college. He continued to call me after 2003, when Saddam Hussein was captured in an Iraqi foxhole by American troops. But I really thought it was the end in 2006, when Saddam Hussein was tried by an Iraqi tribunal and was sentenced to death by hanging. So I was really surprised to receive the following phone call on March 13th, 2007. "Hello, this is Special Agent Jones. Is this Anthony Dahlman?" "Yes, this is him." "I have a phone call from an S. Hussein from an undisclosed location. Do you accept?" "Of course I accept." Mr. Hussein, you have 60 seconds. Hello, Antonio! Saddam, it's really great to hear from you. Oh, Antonio, my dear and only friend, I would never miss your birthday. Well, Saddam, I hate to ask, but where are you? Oh, Antonio, I am on a secret island with Jimmy Hoffa and Jack Kennedy. Wow, Saddam, it's just, I really didn't expect to be hearing from you this year. Oh, Antonio, my dear and only friend, I would never miss your birthday. I just don't want you to worry about me anymore. I hope you have a happy birthday and you have a happy year. This is Special Agent Jones. Your time has expired. So I was attempting to explain to Dan that my Uncle Mark has been calling me for the better part of a quarter century, pretending to be an Iraqi dictator to wish me a happy birthday. But no matter how many times I explained, the only reaction I could get out of him was, "This is really weird." But fortunately, I had Beth on my side, who was well aware of the antics of the Dahlman uncles. She just shrugged her shoulders and said, "Well, that's the way our family is." But probably for the first time, I realized this was really weird. Saddam Hussein was a horrible man. My Uncle Mark was pretending to be him to call me and wish me a happy birthday. But at the same time, I realized what wasn't weird was the love and affection that Uncle Mark had for his nieces and nephews. More than coming to my high school football games, more than making sure to visit with me when I go to Minnesota after visiting from Washington, D.C. Uncle Mark knew how to make a 7-year-old boy special by making sure that his birthday had international importance. Because that's just the way our family is.